What's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everyone's doing well. Good to see y'all. Let's go. Wow, hold on, everybody's in here. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Good to see everyone. What's up? What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you're coming from. Hope y'all are doing well. Throw some Doritos in chat if you're having a good day. Hey, turn up. Hey, Justin, thank you for that. Hey, everybody, what's going on? We got a lot of people in here before I got in here, too. Hold on, let me say some thank yous real quick. Oh, Rossi with the 12 months. OG in the house, let's go, indeed. Let's go. Fountain with the 11 months with the whoop. Wilson F. Baby with the 10 months. Electro Jesus with the 10 months and the one job, please. Indeed. Bobby Lynn, hey, thank you for the 8 months tier 3. That's wild. Thank you so much. Manny, hey, 11 months. Dang, indeed. For real. What's going on, Manny? On Ad 1, hey, thank you for the 9 months. Surat, thank you for the 10 months. Pam CC, thank you for the 9 months, saying I missed you all. I missed y'all too. Been a minute. Been what we were 2 Thursdays ago. We were playing Uno for $5,000. We were live on the Tuesday before that. But it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks so far. It's been a little while. Some other folks in here. Hey, Reggie with the 11 months. I can't believe it's almost been a year. This community's completely changed the course of my life. Thank you, Leon and 100 Devs fam. Reggie A, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of all this. Been pumped for this stream. Yeah, let's go, Cross. Indeed. Speedwagon, hey, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. And Izzy with the 13 months. Hold on, that's the first time I've ever seen the 13. Izzy, boats and logs, indeed. This is wild. Best year ever. I'll take it, Daddy Yankee. Wow. Hold on. That's what? Hold on, there's so many folks here. I gotta pull this up here so I can see a little bit better. Izzy with the 13 months. Been a wild ride. Bobby Lynn, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Yobi with the 11 months. Let's go. Dak with the 10 months. Yeehaw. Hey. Crumb Hustler with the 11 months. Truly changing lives. Hey, nah, y'all put in the work. I point the way, but you put in the work. I can't make you put in the work, right? Jackie Riggs with the 11 months. Let's go, indeed. Daddy Yankee, thank you for the 12 months. Dean Bull, thank you for the 7 months hype and your message in celebration today. It was the best feeling ever. Congrats. And Reggie, hey, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, everybody. That's wild. Level 5 hype train. We haven't even gotten started yet. We haven't even gotten to the hype yet today, folks. Hashnode sponsored stream. Let's go. Winter, thank you for the 7 months. Leon, so awesome to have you back. Got so much to tell y'all. Got an interview with a senior dev living in Venezuela. It went amazingly. Sent me home with a test, willing to help me get in the company. It's US based. That's dope. Winter, lock it down. Let us know if we can help. That's wild. But you led to the water hole. Hey, I pointed it out. Microsoft Leap program just opened up. That's cool. Hi, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. What's going on, everybody? This is wild. This always feels good to come back, to be live with y'all, to see everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. We got a banger tonight for sure. We are doing blogging for developers, sponsored by Hashnode. I'm giving away all of my tips, my tricks, my secrets, and we're doing it together. That's the important thing. Putting together a developer blog will change your life. Like, no lie, will literally change your life. It's going to make it easier for you to get clients. It's going to make it easier for you to get a job. It's going to be easier for you to make money online. It will literally change your life. Blogging changed my life. It changed the lives of a lot of my students, and I want that for you. So tonight, we're going to walk through all the basics. We're going to work through workshopping together, coming up with all of our different factors that go into a blog, your audience, your topics, your first post. And we're going to save some time at the end tonight for us to all come together on Remo to sit at the tables, workshop our ideas, and I'm helping everybody. I'm coming by to each table. I want you to be able to get on that journey tonight, and that's what we're doing. So we got a lot of fun. You know how we do with the sponsored streams, lots of raffles, lots of giveaways, but we're also celebrating tonight, folks. We're celebrating. We got a lot to celebrate. It's been 2 weeks since we've been on Twitch. Lots changed. Let's say we were in the 20s 2 weeks ago. We're not in the 20s no more. Let's go. All right, I'm going to switch to the little Leon here. Good to see you all. Will this be a VOD to watch later? Of course, of course. We gonna get. Funny, thank you for the 11 months. That's wild. 8 bearings photo. Hey, thank you for the 9 months. We gonna get. Exactly. Where's Bob? Bob's behind me. Bob will come out. Don't worry. Bob's coming through. All right. So tonight we're going to do our normal questions. It's been 2 weeks since we've been live, so I'm sure there are questions. We're going to get those out the way. We're going to catch up on 100 dev stuff. We're going to shout out a big thank you to Hashnode for sponsoring tonight. We're going to get our dev blog set up. We're going to get ourselves started. We're going to learn about kind of best practices when it comes to our blogging. And I'm sharing all of my secrets, the secrets that are going to help you rank on Google, the secrets that are going to help recruiters find you, my secrets that are going to help you stand out online. We're going through it all tonight, and we're going to do it together. And then your homework, which we're going to start together, is to write your first blog post, right? We're going to get that train rolling so you can get all those benefits that my students get when they start blogging. Green, happy birthday. Tomorrow, hey, year with Leon. Hey, I'll take it. Jack, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Oh boy, I don't know what to write. Don't worry, I got you. That's what tonight's about. We're gonna show how to make it easy. Creator, hey, it's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Spliff, thank you for the 9 months. Alrighty, folks. Let's jump into it. Questions. It's been a minute. I'm in my comfy clothes today, folks. Got my comfy shirt on, got my comfy pants on. You got any questions? Because I got some answers. It's been a minute since we've been on Twitch. So I always like to leave a little bit of room. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I'm doing real good. Last week was a little rough. I had like on Sunday I slept weird and my throat was like really raw, and I would teach during the day, and then by the afternoon it was just shot. But feeling better. You can still hear it a little bit in my voice. Doing good. Had a long weekend. Got a new cohort at RC. Shout out to RC if you're here. It's going well. Folks are learning. We're in the middle of learning JavaScript. We got Kanye that dropped. We got Drake that dropped. We got Schmurder that dropped. What a week. What a week, folks. Donda or CLB? It's so tough. So if you're a Kanye fan, I don't care what type of Kanye fan you are, Donda has something for you. Like there's something there for you, right? You're like old school, new school, there was something there for you. So that was special. Some of the features were wild. The Certified Lover Boy, the Drake album was, if somebody went into a lab and made a Drake album, that's what it was. And so if you like Drake, it's a good album, right? If that's what you're into, right? Schmurder dropped. Now I'm gonna say I wasn't super happy. I get it. I liked it. Was it what I was waiting 7 years for? No, but that's okay. I can't put that level of expectations on Schmurder, right? So I was good. It was good. I think people are gonna play it a lot. I can't wait to bump it in the car. So I think Schmurder didn't disappoint. I think Drake put out a solid Drake album, and I think Kanye surprised me a little bit. And so I think in terms of what I'm going to be replaying, I'm going Kanye on this one, which is that as a huge Drake fan, that's hard to say, but I think there's something on the Kanye album that I'm going to keep going back to. And yeah. Have I been watching Bachelor in Paradise? Not yet. I stack all of my like reality television. I stack. That's my workout motivation. Got some hydrations. Dak, thank you for the hydration. Jimmy, thank you for the hydration. Cheers to both of y'all. Yobi said that they chatted with their neighbor and found out they work at a software company, setting up an interview next week. That's two of my neighbors that got me interviews. Lesson is to network with your neighbors. Hey, that's wild. Circle season 3 just dropped. Uh-oh. Just joking. But afterwards, that's what we're doing. Just so you know. Alrighty, folks. We got some good questions in here. When we can expect the last few classes to go on YouTube? They're going up soon as possible. They're all downloaded. I just got to upload them. I started one already, like the big one. So you'll see one go up later tonight, and then hopefully the rest by the end of this weekend. I was trying to edit them a little bit, but I just need to get them up. It's been too long. So I think folks are at the end of what's on YouTube. So they're just going up. Cool. All right, folks. Thank you for the questions. Let's get into it. All right. So who is tonight for? Especially if you're new, especially if this is your first time with us at 100 Devs here. This is for a developer that wants to get a job, that wants to find clients and wants to grow their online presence. If you fall into any of those buckets, tonight's class is for you. I'm going to show you how to increase your odds in all these different verticals by writing a developer blog. This has fundamentally changed the course of so many careers, of so many of my past students' careers, that I have to start encouraging folks to make a developer blog, right? So this is that class. This is give you all the basics to get you started, to get us started together, right? So that you can change the course of your career. That's what we're talking about tonight. So if you're a developer and you don't have a blog yet, or you're just trying to get it started, or you're trying to add to it, you're trying to learn a little bit more, tonight's class is for you. And since it's a sponsored class, I'm unleashing my inner Oprah. We're giving out raffles. After every topic that we cover, there's a raffle. After everything that we learn, there's a raffle, right? And so we're giving away laptops, we're giving away swag, we're giving out domains, and I'm giving out a job guarantee. This is the first time I've ever brought this into play. So the laptop, we're going to talk about that in a second. The swag, every raffle tonight, we're going to do a swag raffle that goes anywhere in the world. Folks have been posting them, getting their swag all around the world. It's been really cool to see folks in way far out countries where it didn't get locked up in customs. I'm glad it got to you. So that should be fun to see those kind of pop off. But yeah, swag anywhere in the world is coming your way. We're also going to give away a free domain with each raffle as well. So there'll be a swag raffle and then a domain raffle. And that's so that if you want to start using a custom domain, you can. You don't have to have one, but if you want one, we got you tonight. And then we're giving away a job guarantee, folks. Oh my. Oh, and the laptop we're giving away is a new MacBook Air. What? New MacBook Air. That's right. This is consistently rated the best laptop to write your blog posts on. All right. So if you need a new machine to write out your beautiful blog posts, this is the machine for you. So we're giving that away during stream today. We're going to give it away today. So you got to hang with us. We're going to give away today. And I'm giving away a job guarantee. Now, as you know, nothing has ever been guaranteed with 100 Devs. I'm here to support you as much as I can, but I've never given a guarantee. But today is a guarantee. I'm going to work with you every day. You're going to meet with me. We're going to have our own stand up. I'm going to help you with every letter that you write, every post that you make, every coding challenge that you receive. guaranteed. Now, the goal is if you are ready to start interviewing, you have to be at a place where you're ready to interview, right? You have to be at a place where you're ready to interview. You've done all the things that are required of a 100 devs person. If you haven't, there'll be a caveat for you, right? If you've done everything that 100 devs has asked of you, meaning that you have done all the assignments, you've built out your 100 hours project, you've built out your hit list, you've been doing things to a good level, you qualify, right? You qualify. And so what I'll do is, if you're ready for the hunt, we're going to put a 1 month timer on the clock. In that 1 month, if you don't get a job, I give you $1,000. That's it. That's the deal. That's the job guarantee. Now, for that guarantee to be in effect, you got to be meeting with me every day. You got to be sharing all the things that come your way. I'm going to help you with your hit list. I'm going to help you with all the messages. I'm going to help you with your interviews every day for a month. And if you don't get the job, I give you $1,000, and I keep helping you, but you get the $1,000. So that is the job guarantee. So far, let me check. Let's see. So far, we have 1 job guarantee on the dockets for tonight. If our tweet for tonight, every 100 up to 300, we're doing another job guarantee. So if we hit 200, there'll be 2 job guarantees. If we hit 300, there will be 3 job guarantees. And so go ahead, if you haven't checked in yet, ! check in. That'll give you the links for tonight. For all of the prizes and things like that, you must have created a Hashnode account. If you don't have a Hashnode account yet, you can do ! Hashnode. That'll get you the link that you need. And make sure you've retweeted and liked the tweet from today so that we can get more than 1 job guarantee going. Cool. And speaking of jobs, folks, 38 people have already got jobs. What? 38 people. And there are companies you heard of too, folks. Amazon, multiple folks at Amazon, Twitter, Slack, Dropbox, Yahoo, Hashnode. What up, Sam? HP. So many smaller startups, so many wonderful companies. It's been wild to see. And you know what, folks? When it rains, it pours, because we're at 38 right now. But the number of references I've been doing, the number of folks that I know that are close and they're interviewing, I smell 50. 50's real close. 50's real close. I want 100, but 50's real close. I can smell it. I can see it. And so congratulations to everyone that's locked down the job. Congratulations to everyone that's still in the hunt, right? Still in the hunt. Putting in the work, doing their hit list, taking those calls. The day of celebration. This has blown the wildest expectations I could have ever had out the water. And so I thank each and every single one of you that show up for this community time in and time out. Shout out to Indifferent, I see you in the chat, for all the help and support you've been given. Shout out to all of the folks that give up their time to help others in Discord, that are here in this chat right now. Check-in's wrong link. Hold on, I got y'all. Let's see. Sorry about that. Boom. All right, there you go. Check-in is updated. Thank you for that. ! Check-in. And I'm going to say that again, because when you look at the posts that are going into the celebrations channel, you got to look at these posts, folks. Hold on. Here's one that was just put in the celebrations channel. Happy to announce I accepted an offer with no technical. With no technical. When I tell you you're ready, you're ready. Happy to announce I accepted an offer with no technical. Special thanks to Leon for helping me negotiate a higher offer. When you get an offer, talk to me. Send me a DM. I will get you more money. I've helped at least 20 of y'all get more money so far. When you get an offer, send me a DM. I'll get you more money. Special thanks to Funny Commentary. Hey, Funny, how you doing? For all the study help and advice. Funny's always on Discord helping folks. Shout out to Funny. And I couldn't have done it without the help of the entire community. That's it, folks. The entire community. The folks that show up day in and day out, that are on those channels, that are helping folks push, that are giving the moral support, that are giving the code support, that are sharing their wins, their highs, their lows. That's all y'all, folks. That's us. And so I wanted to highlight these two because they highlight what makes this work, and it's y'all. Next, so happy to announce that I've officially accepted an apprenticeship offer from Twitter, folks, over the weekend. Huge thanks to Leon for helping me negotiate for even more money. You get me an offer, I'll get you more money. I couldn't have done it without this wonderful, inspiring community. This community, it's y'all putting in the work. Thank you. I really do. So here's my secret. My secret was I really wanted 33. 33 was like my internal number where this would have been blown out the water, right? Like that to me, like it worked. Like we can fix some things up. We can iron some things out. 33 was like my, all right, we've made it. The fact that we're at 38 already, and I see all y'all hustling. I see all y'all taking those interviews, and I can smell 50. It feels good. And so I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that's here, everyone that shows up, everyone that struggles along with us. We're at 38. Oh yeah, we're at 38. It's going to be 50 soon though. I'm going to make a shirt of my number. That'd be funny. All right. With that being said, folks, we got 3 more classes. On Tuesday, we have our data structures and algorithms. We'll be skipping Thursday due to a holiday. And then that final week will be our last 2 official classes. 3 more, folks. It's been a long ride, but only 3 more. But I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here. We're still doing our daily stand-up. We're still going to be going live with things to help you get through the interview process, to help you lock down the things that you need to lock down for your interviews. So I ain't going nowhere, but we got 3 official classes left. Doesn't mean we're not going live. It's just that we're going to be taking more time to help folks that are in the hunt, make sure they get the support that they need, help them with interviews, all that fun stuff. Are there going to be tea sessions? Yep. We're going to keep the tea spilling. We're going to keep it going. Will you be uploading your stuff to YouTube after 45? Yep. You'll see one go up tonight and then the rest will be up this weekend. Yeah. I was trying to edit them, but it just takes too long. So they're just going up. Alrighty, folks. It's not too late. If you're new here, come join the best place to learn code live. Join our Discord, !100devs, everything you need to know. And we're going to be running it back real soon, folks. We're going to be running it back. And the beautiful thing about running it back is the number of folks that said, Leon, I'm not going anywhere. As soon as the new people are here, I'm in Discord, I'm helping, I'm here on stream helping. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. 100 devs turns into 100 mentors, and I'm really pumped for it. So new cohort, late October. Yeah, but we ain't going nowhere, folks. All right, I'm gonna chill the music here and say a huge thank you to Hashnode for sponsoring this stream. The beautiful thing about Hashnode, as you know, or if you're new here, I'm going to tell you, is that one of 100 devs very own Sam now works at Hashnode. And as soon as Sam was trying to figure out how to spread the Hashnode love, they came running right back to 100 devs and they said, Leon, how can we make it work? What can we do? And immediately wanted to support our community. And so they put up the money for a $5,000 Uno tournament. What? Who does that? This is amazing. So they put up the money for a $5,000 Uno tournament. that first round was wild, but all the other ones were a lot of fun. And thank you so much for doing that for our community, to have fun, to come together, to just have a moment to be together and to razz each other around Uno. It was a lot of fun. So huge thank you to Hashnode for sponsoring our Uno tournament, and for sponsoring this class, and for making the best damn platform to blog as a developer, and for making it absolutely free. Y'all know I don't ever promote something that costs money. And the fact that what we're about to do tonight is like next level, but also free, blows my mind. So huge thank you to Hashnode. We're going to talk about some of the benefits of Hashnode and how they changed the game. Then we're going to get into setting up our own blogs and how we can use that to level up our careers. But before we get started, just wanted to put out a huge thank you to Hashnode for sponsoring. They enable us to do some really cool stuff, to do all the giveaways tonight, to do a $5,000 Uno tournament. So thank you, Hashnode. Thank you, Sam. You're the best. All right. If you haven't already, folks. Hey, Blah. If you haven't already, folks, please make sure you check in. Exclamation point check in has been updated. Sorry, it was a weird link before that one. Right now, we're sitting at 1 job guarantee, but I feel like we can get to 2 job guarantees tonight. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check in for us. Give it a good old like and a retweet, and I appreciate you. Alrighty, let's get into it, folks. You have a problem, a real big problem. Big problem. Let me introduce you to my greatest 2 enemies in life. I have 2 enemies, not 3, 2. And I'm about to introduce you to my 2 greatest enemies this evening. Leon Noel and Noel Leon. The 2 greatest enemies I have in life. Now, if you don't know, Leon Noel is a French politician from the 1800s. They went on to be the first like counselor of France or some other BS. I don't care. I don't like you. Pain in my tuchus. Time in and time out. Now, my other enemy in life, they don't know me, but I know them, is Noel Leon. Writer, dork, model extraordinaire. Pain in my tuchus, always. Now, why do you think a French politician, she's your OnlyFans competition? Yes, now that OnlyFans is back, they are my competition. And Noel Leon, why do you think they're my greatest enemies in life? There's only one other person on earth named Sam Sycamore, and they're also a developer. Crush them. Yeah, folks are saying in chat, SEO, search engine optimization. So when you type in Leon Noel, these are my 2 enemies. But I have crushed the game. I have run over them. I have destroyed them in every facet of life, except for the little Wikipedia bubble. I can't fix that yet. I got to get a Wikipedia page. That's too hard. But I won. I seized the day. Look at it. Let me circle. LeonNoel.com. Leon Noel. Leon Noel. Leon Noel. French politician. Screw you. Leon Noel YouTube. Leon Noel GitHub. Leon Noel Fox 25 News. Well, they're Boston 25 News now. First 2 images. Instagram. That's my biggest win. Destroyed the game. Now, I was able to destroy this game, and I have won the fight due to the power of, and I'm going to give you a second here. I'll give you a second. Whenever you see this warning, folks, you have 10 seconds before it gets hype. I've won the fight. I've decimated my enemies due to the power of blogging. It's true. All of this is possible because of blog posts. So I'm gonna get hyped for a second. Feel it. Look at that. It's beautiful. Wow. Like. But seriously, blogging. This did not look like this a year ago or 2 years ago. Leon Noel was all up in there, the French politician. Noel Leon for any social was all up in there, right? And for a short period of time, there was another Leon that died, and they were also in here. So how did this happen? How was I able to destroy the search engine results, right? And it was all through blogging. And the way that blogging helps is that you really only have to do a little bit of work. If you can get just a few blog posts to rank in the search engines, to be seen by a lot of folks, you can build your authority very quickly. And then I'm going to show you how to link everything together so that your search results are just you. And this is going to pay off in huge ways. Not only will it be easier for people to follow you on the internet, recruiters will be able to find you easier, right? Recruiters will be able to find you easier. Clients will be able to find you easier. Your life gets a lot easier as a developer once you start ranking for your name. And I'm going to show you the easy way to do that. And it really just comes down to a simple blog. Now, blogging for a long time sucked, especially as a developer. Before, you had to kind of like hodgepodge a bunch of different stuff. Like you're using some sort of like Gatsby blog or Jekyll if you've been around for a little while, or some other type of thing where you had to set it up, you had to figure it out, and that whole process was a pain in the butt. You didn't want to have to manage it because you got other stuff to do, and it just wasn't fun. It was just a really bad process to get a blog up and going. You could have done something where you maybe use another provider like Medium or something like that, but then you didn't really own your content. It was hard to kind of to outcompete on your actual domain and to do all the other things that we're talking about of how to get all your other things to rank as well. So for a long time, blogging was just kind of weird. Like, yes, you could have set it up. Like, yes, you could have used some of these kind of like static site generators. That's what worked. That's what I used for the longest time. But now there's a better way, right? There's a better way, a way that's super easy, a way that makes it so that you can focus on the content and getting the results that you want, and none of the other BS that comes along with managing your blog, that comes along with having to keep up on the latest SEO trends, that has to do any of this stuff. And so I'm giving you a 10-second warning. It was horrible before, but now it's amazing because made it way easier, made it way better. You don't have to think about any of the bull crap. You just get it done. Let's go. Told you Bob would come. Told you Bob would come. Hashnode just makes this so much easier. So I'm gonna talk to you about some of the lovely features of Hashnode, and like I said, and I'll say it again, I don't take the products I endorse very lightly, right? This is something that I really think will change the game for you, especially if you want to continue to enhance your online presence. I've seen it work for lots of developers, and it's completely free. So it's amazing that they're sponsoring, that they're supporting this community. But I want to show you some of the stuff that comes with Hashnode and tell you why that sets it apart from other providers and why it's the platform to use if you're just getting started today. So Hashnode's goal is to be everything that a blogger needs to start, like a developer needs to start as a blogger, right? Everything you need to start blogging as a developer. And it really does come with everything, right? And what I like about it, right? What I like about it is that it just handles all of the things that were always thoughts in the back of my brain. Like if there was ever a thing in the back of my brain that would stop me from using another platform, Hashnode has solved it or figured it out. Sam said, Leon's first question when I approached him about this was, is it free though? Exactly. I'm not going to ever endorse something that's not free. You know how we do. We want it to be the best place to learn how to code online for free, right? And so all the things we introduce will be free. So right off the bat, Hashnode is completely free, right? The next beautiful thing is that it's powered by kind of the latest and greatest technology. Like the things that you would try to set up on your own, Hashnode is already set up for you. And it sits on top of a beautiful CDN, right? We talked about CDNs earlier in our course, a content delivery network. That means that your blog is going to be like all your media, your materials are going to be on servers or locations closest to your readers, which means that you get a super fast experience. And we're going to talk a little bit later on when we talk about like how to rank on Google. We're going to talk about like why this piece is super important, but it's just something you don't have to think about. You're not worried about your Lighthouse score. You're not worried about, is my content loading fast? You're not worried about, are my images up? Is my CDN up, right? Like all these things that you would have to think about, you don't have to think about it all when you're using Hashnode. The beautiful thing is, it's free to use your own custom domain. You don't need to worry about paying money to get custom domain. Hey, Anonymous, thank you for the gifted sub to Sam. You can still bring your custom domain, and that's what we're giving away tonight, folks. We're giving away a bunch of custom domains tonight. So if you want your first name, last name, or something cool like that, we're going to help you get it for free. You can still write your blog post in Markdown. As a developer, getting better at Markdown is amazing. When you write your README files on GitHub, you're writing Markdown. So the same tools that you use for your README files, you can use to write your blog posts. And that's really neat because you're practicing a skill that you're going to use a lot of places in your development career. But once you get good at Markdown, it becomes super fast and easy to write blog posts. And the cool thing about Hashnode is it'll take your Markdown and do everything that you want it to do, right? Like it'll preview your embedded stuff. It'll pull up your tweets. It'll show your code snippets in a really nice and easy to view format. So all the stuff you would want to use when you're blogging as a developer, like the tool that you would want to use and the way that you would want it to render already happens on Hashnode. You don't have to set that up. You don't have to figure out any of those things. You don't even have to think about it. You just write your content and it shows up, which is beautiful. It has a free built-in newsletter tool. People ask me, Leon, what's the best way to grow right now? And my honest answer is always build a newsletter, right? Twitter's great for engagement, but if you want people to like engage with your content and to have a larger reach, email is always the way. Because with email, you're in full control over it. If say Twitter, right? Like let's say Twitter decides to ban your account. Well, there you go. There goes all of your followers. There goes all the things that you worked really hard for. But with email, you still have all the emails. You switch to a different provider, right? And so I always say, like, if you're going to invest in anything in terms of like your reach, in terms of getting folks to pay attention and look at your content, building out a newsletter is the best thing, and it's built in for free with Hashnode. I can't make this shit up. Like it's just built in. You don't have to think about it, and you can build out what for me is my best channel for growth. Like if you ask me what my best channel for growth is, I went from like 1,000 Twitter followers to 5,000 in like this course that we've been timed together. My newsletter went up to like 3,000 people. Discord has almost 4,000 people in it. But the channel that's the best, that gets you all to show up, that gets you all to come time and time again, is always the newsletter. So so the newsletter is good. I don't know what to put in my newsletter. That's all right. Collect the emails so that when you do have a newsletter, you're ready to go, right? But starting that collection of the emails early is super important. It's just another channel for your growth that you don't even have to think about. Hashnode by default gives this to you. What? It's also a pain in the butt to set up. Like if you're going to use ConvertKit or MailChimp, like, yeah, they give you widgets, but they don't ever like integrate as cleanly as you want. It just takes a little while, and then something updates and it breaks. So it being integrated directly into your platform is like, whew. Has built-in analytics. You don't have to kind of go down the route of Google Analytics or something like that. You don't have to worry about setting up that. Like, it's not super hard to set up, but it's built in. You don't even have to think about it. It just comes naturally. So you can see the number of views, the number of likes. You can see the number of readers that you have coming into your articles, which is going to be really helpful for as you're trying to grow your readership. Having a decent analytics platform that's baked in makes it so that you know what's performing well and what your audience likes. And that's going to be a big thing that we talk about tonight. Hey, Angel, thank you so much. Thank you for the 9 months. Hope you're doing well. And then the last big thing I'm going to talk about is that they have automatic backups to GitHub. The thing I hate the most about every blogging platform out there is how hard it is to back up your own freaking content. It's your own content. You put so much time and effort into all of these posts, and getting backup set up is always a pain. If you're doing WordPress, forget about it. Like, just forget about it. It's just like there's these tools that work half the time, not all the time. And it's just something that you don't even have to worry about. You don't have to fiddle with. You don't ever have to think about it. You just know that you have good automatic backups into an account that you fully control, right? That you fully control. Oh, so now I get green squares just for writing? Sam. Oh, that's true. I love it. So yeah, there you go. Sam confirmed. You get a green square every single time you publish, which is dope, right? So this is all built in. It's not something you have to think about. It's not something you have to fiddle with. It's not something you have to worry about. And I make a note to highlight all of this because it enables you to think bigger and to do the things that you want to do, right? And to not worry and to just focus on your freaking content, right? Why fiddle with all this other stuff, try and figure all these things out when Hashnode is completely free? And if you signed up with the link that we provide, you can do !Hashnode in chat for our specific link. You get a bunch of other goodies. And one of the goodies that Sam and I were talking about, we're getting you all into the sponsor program. So Hashnode now also has a sponsor program where people can actually tip you for your posts. So not only are you creating content in a platform that handles everything for you completely for free, not only can you use your own domain and not to think about all these other things, but now they also have a program they're building out to where you can get paid for the content that you write. What? You don't think about any of it. So thank you to Hashnode for sponsoring this, but you know I don't take on sponsors unless I believe in the product, and I wholeheartedly hope that you start your dev blog journey today with us live. And I hope that you use Hashnode to do it, because it's just going to set you up on such a good, amazing foot. You don't have to think about any of this other stuff. Yeah. Cool. All right. So before we get into our first raffle, before we get into our first break too, right? Before we get into it, I want to just spend a few quick seconds talking about like why blog, like why put in all this effort to create content. We already saw that blogging has helped me conquer my greatest enemies in life and blow them out of the search engine results. Like that was all because of a few blog posts that I wrote. So we already saw that, but let's talk about some other reasons why you might want to blog. All right. Why blog? So Sam just said, if you had a blog for a while and want to get on sponsors, holler at them on Discord. So if you're interested in that program, reach out to Sam. All right. Why blog? Whenever somebody asks me, Leon, what do you get out of teaching and why would you put content out there? I tell them one very clear reason. The best way to learn anything is to teach it to someone else. It will make you think of things that you've never honestly engaged with, right? It'll make you have to research the small holes in your knowledge. It'll make you have to challenge what you thought was true. So the best thing you can ever do when you're learning new content is try and teach it to someone else. Now, for a lot of folks, trying to like teach someone live is a lot of pressure and not something that everyone might want to do. But writing about the things that you learned, you can do at your own pace, right? So as you learn a new topic, as you learn something that you want the world to know about, if you put in the effort to try and explain it in natural language, to try and explain it to somebody else that doesn't know that topic, you gain so much value. The concepts will solidify in ways that you would not believe. My students that blog about their learning are some of the most successful students I have ever had, because it forces them, right? It forces you to really understand the material, and it gives you that time for active recall. It gives you that time for spaced repetition. So if for no other reason other than to solidify all the concepts you've been working so hard to learn, that's one of the first reasons why you should blog. I had to teach GraphQL today on stream so I could reinforce my learning. Exactly. The Dab is the best at this, right? Dab learned something new and is immediately trying to teach it to you all. And they're getting some amazing benefit out of that spaced repetition, out of that active recall. And then you also benefit too. So it is a huge win across the board as you're learning things to try and solidify them in a way that others would help. Oh, Dab, miss you. Hope you're doing well. Cool. Another real reason why you might want to blog is to show others what you know. Now, this plays out in a lot of different ways, right? This plays out in a lot of different ways. When you show others what you know, it can help you with a lot of small victories. One, it'll let other developers know what you've worked on and what your experiences are. It'll help recruiters better understand your level of understanding. And it's also just an amazing way to meet others. If you're trying to grow your network, which you should all do if you're in the hunt, showing others what you've been working on and what you've been tinkering with is a huge way to find others that'll support you in that journey to learn. We're going to talk about kind of like a tagging strategy for when you're learning. But when you're learning something that's new and fresh and you make a good blog post about some small piece of that, and then you put that out there on the internet, you'll be surprised at the number of folks that come to you to commiserate or come to you to be like, oh, actually, have you seen this thing, to help you, to guide you, or to get guidance from you. And so if you're talking about building your network in a natural way, learning in public, putting out the things that you're learning is a huge, huge win. It's one of the biggest movements right now that'll help you find that community that can ultimately help you do things like get clients or get a job or things like that. Cool. I might write about rec query versus rec params. That's a great one. I love it. We're going to talk about like the little wins that you can have for your first post, but I love those as like a first type of post. Yeah. Yobi's made some amazing blogs about networking on Hashnode. Yes, they have. And so what we're going to do is tonight, I'm encouraging you all to write your first blog post. Or if you've already written one, that's okay. But I'm encouraging you to write your first blog post tonight. We're then going to put out a digest of all of the 100 devs first blog posts. So I'm going to do my best to promote them on all my channels. We're going to retweet, we're going to like, we're going to blow out in the water all of our first posts. They're going out in the newsletter, everything. So we're going to do it big. If you write your first blog post with us tonight, we're going to help you with everything that you need to get that first blog post done, including the promotion of that blog post. So we're going to get into it a little bit, but yeah. Cool. Another reason why you might want to blog: feedback. Especially if you're learning something new that's technical and difficult, one of the best things you can do is put it in a blog and other folks can look at the things you're saying. And I know that can be for some folks like that could be hard for some folks, but for some, it's one of the most illuminating things they can do that helps them fill in the gaps in their knowledge. Folks, there are folks out there that love to help. And if you're putting your content out there, they want to help you. Now, doesn't mean you won't attract some folks that you don't like, but you get the ability to curate who is on your comments and who's not. And when you put yourself out there and you ask for real feedback from folks, you'll be surprised at the folks that'll drop what they're doing, read your post, and give you real solid feedback on what you've written. I see this happen every day on Twitter. My students that take the mindset of, I'm going to write a post that's not going to be perfect because I want the help on it, they grow leaps and bounds over others. I think Adhd and OCC do this really well, where they put themselves out there, and the folks that come to help them and look through their code makes them grow all that much faster. Yeah. I have so many drafts that I need to hit publish on. I have major is it good enough vibes. We're going to talk about that. You should vomit. You can always clean it up later. I think Leon should write a blog post about using the VR tag. Oh no. The people that come to my chat teach me so much. Exactly, Dab, right? When you put your ideas out there, people will help you. And I know we're afraid of like the assholes and the jerks, but you'll be surprised of some of the amazing folks that'll come to help you when you put your ideas out there, that then go on to become some of your biggest supporters. Nick, who's always in our Discord, is one of the biggest folks I've ever seen do this right. They constantly put themselves out there. During their T-Spill session, they talked about this too. They put their ideas out there to be critiqued, to get that feedback. And what they wound up getting was a loyal following of supporters that wanted to see them grow and wanted to see them win. And so putting your ideas out there, as scary as that can be, is one of the best things you can do for your growth. Nick starting a Hashnode today. Let's go. Yeah, that's a big win. All right. The second to last thing here is your personal brand. When you start blogging, you can develop a community, you can develop a brand around yourself that can help unlock other opportunities, that can help unlock contracting, that can help you get a job. One of my dear friends, Alex, they started a blog very recently, and I'm gonna show it here. They started a blog very recently, and their blog was about building a laptop. They wanted to build an e-ink laptop, and so they just put out a post that was kind of like 4 or 5 sections long, not very long at all, about wanting like this dream product. And what happened is they got picked up on Hacker News, and they were able to build an amazing community, right? An amazing community of other folks that just wanted the same thing that they wanted. They literally just wanted an e-ink laptop, and they put out their thoughts and their ideas around this e-ink laptop. And now they have a community of developers that are actually building that laptop. They have community of developers that like want to help them fund that laptop. They like want to see it come into existence. And it all came off of one blog post, right? And so The idea that if you're putting yourself out there and you're putting your content in the right places that we'll talk about in a little bit, opportunities find you. They really do. The number of folks that reach out to me that say, hey, Leon, I was reading your blog. Do you want to do X? Is astronomical. And I'm not super prolific. I have my few blog posts on my current blog. I had another blog before that. And the amount of folks that will eventually find your content and reach out is wild. Also helps with contracting. A lot of us still have that stink that we talk about, that new developer stink. And when you're putting out your ideas and you have a chance to put them out concretely to really formulate and really put out a solid idea, what people will see is your finest. They'll see like your finished product, right? They'll see that, oh, you're a developer that can engage in these ideas to some depth. And that means you'll get more clients. Like, you will have clients that will say yes because they saw your blog. You will have employers that make that final decision because you talked about a topic on your blog. I have at least 5 students that have told me the reason they got the final offer was because one of the engineers that was on like the hiring decision read their blog. It's not hard. We're going to work through how to set it all up today. We're going to walk through like how to get your first post going, how to build out the content that you write. But by and far, it's one of the best things you can do as a developer. I made a blog for my dog years ago. It was from her perspective. She had a lot to say. That's wild. I love it. All right. And then the last thing that I think you get from blogging is confidence. When you first put your ideas out there, as a new developer, it's hard to see yourself as an authority. It's hard to see yourself as a true software engineer, right? But when you start putting your ideas out there and you're getting that positive feedback and people are engaging with you because of the things that you know, your confidence starts to rise. And with each post, you get more and more confident. You start to really see yourself as the software engineer that you truly are. And so just by putting out these posts into the world and seeing people engage with them, it boosts your confidence, because either you get some really good feedback or somebody says, this is a great post. And that just brings up your confidence level with each post. So if you're battling with like real imposter syndrome, if you're battling with real doubt, blogging is one of the best things you can do to boost that confidence level. And we have an amazing community that when you put out your post, we're going to do everything in our ability to give you that positive encouragement, to retweet it, to put it out there more. And so thank you for the hydration, Memphis. Cheers to you. Sam said, my first couple posts were a clueless newbie's guide to X, and people are into it. I love it. That new developer perspective is so rare. Nobody can ever get that back. There's no way to go back to when you were a new developer, a new engineer, and write from that perspective. No one can ever do that. You only have a small window to do that. And so using that as your leg up, that's a huge win. All right. So maybe I sold you. Maybe you're like, hey, Leon, I want more clients. I want a better job. I want more confidence. How do I start? Well, it's easy. You use Hashnode with my link here in the slides, or ! Hashnode if you haven't already created an account. It's easy to get started. It has everything you need to start blogging as a developer. We're going to, what time are we at right now? Let's see. Smooth. I'll take it. All right. We're at the top of the hour. So we're going to take a 5-minute break like we always do. If you're new here, we like to stay healthy. We like to stay hydrated. We're in this for a marathon, not a sprint. When we come back, we're going to talk about the few key things you need to get started, aka picking the theme of your blog and your audience. And then we're going to do our first raffle. So let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. I'm going to bring that up on the clock here. We'll take 5 minutes. When we come back from those first 5 minutes, we're going to pick our theme. We're going to pick our audience for our blogs, and and we're going to raffle away some amazing prizes. So please be healthy, and I'll see you all in 5. Memphis, there are a few goodies that we had, but nothing too wild. You should be okay. Nuclear, yep, there'll still be tea spilling sessions. Time for mint chocolate. Ooh. Just got here and already break time. Hey, you came at the right time then. How do we get into the raffle again? The raffle, when we get back, I'll put it. The raffle's not live yet, but when it is live, you'll do ! raffle. So when we get back, you'll be able to do that. Stuck in a car for the next 2. No. All right, folks, I am going to take a quick break myself. I will be right back. Get some stretching in. What's up, everybody? Got about a minute 50 seconds left. Indifferent just joined Hashnode. Let's go. Bob was indeed in charge. You miss the old music? Yeah, I miss it sometimes too. We had to get rid of the OG music because I was worried about the license on it, like the original song. Bobby Lynn, if you ask me in the Ask Leon channel, I'll share my resources on testing. Our last class will have testing in it. Yo, Anonymous. Hey, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I appreciate that. That's wild. Thank you, Anonymous. And Zabby, hey, thank you for the gifted sub as well. Anonymous, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Nugget, hey, hit me up. Ooh, I like that too. Indifferent. It's pretty cool. Are you still doing 101s? Yes, I am. I'll talk about that when we come back. Yeah, Nugget, hit me up on Discord. Happy to talk about it. 10 seconds, folks. Ooh. All right, folks, come on back. Come on back. Alrighty. Kill the music here. Code said, when's the next one? Late October is when we're planning maybe doing the run back here. You recommend blogging about a simple thing we feel confident about or a more complicated topic that we are currently exploring? I think you should start with the simple thing that you feel comfortable with, just to get comfortable blogging, because it's a skill and you get better at it as you go. And then once you feel comfortable writing your first couple blog posts, start doing the more complicated stuff, because that might take you longer, right? It might take you, like a complicated post might take you a long time to pull together. And so start with some easy stuff, get some wins underneath your belt, see what you like, what you don't like, and it builds up. Cool. Alrighty, folks. So before we get to the first raffle, there's something that I want us to do. We're going to take some time. And we're gonna pick our theme and our audience, which is really the most important thing when you're first planning out your blog. Would it be too weird to just blog like a daily dev diary? No, people do it. There's even the 100 days of Hashnode, if you've seen it, where folks try to put a blog post out every day. One of the examples we're gonna look at, somebody that's been doing it's wild. I don't know how they put out that much content, but there are people that do it. All right, so when you're first planning out your blog, a lot of folks struggle with, what am I going to write? How am I going to write it? And that really, like, the content doesn't matter as much as these first two things: picking a theme and picking an audience. And so when you pick a theme and an audience, it's like, what is your overall blog going to be about? And who is it going to be for? Are you targeting folks that are new developers, senior developers, people that aren't developers, right? Right. It's up to you to think through, like, what your audience is going to be and what the overall theme. Is it a learning to code blog? Is it my exploration to software engineering? It's important to pick a theme and an audience. And so I want to look at some examples that are on Hashnode. So this is The Coding Company, and they are a self-taught programmer interested in Python, HTML, CSS, C++, and JavaScript. And what you'll notice is that their blog is kind of tips and tricks for learning Python. And they throw that right out the gate, that they're a self-taught developer. So it seems like they're trying to target kind of early career developers, right? Early career developers. And their kind of overall theme is kind of like learning Python or learning the basics of development. And so most of the articles they put out are in that realm. Project-based learning, why it's more helpful, 6 things you should consider before selecting your next project, 10 exciting Python project ideas for beginners. And the reason why you pick a theme, right? The reason why you pick a theme is you want the folks that you attract to your blog to be comfortable with the content that you continue to turn out. Now, if you just want to have a blog that jumps all over the place, that's okay. But if you're trying to build an audience that wants to continually come back to your blog and read your posts and have those posts grow over time to build your authority in a certain niche so that it's easier for you to get clients, things like that, then having an overall theme. I am going to build a blog for early career developers, right? That's a theme. If we look at Victoria, I'm a web software developer who loves to build projects and share very valuable tips for new programmers on this blog. It's very clear what the theme of their blog is. They're here to share valuable tips for new programmers, and they are a beast at doing that. If you look at all the content that they've put out, it's all stuff geared at developers, like early career developers, but they're a little bit further along. they're kind of getting more into the specifics. So this is where the theme is the same, right? The theme of Victoria's and the theme of the coding company is like early career developers, but the audience is slightly different. I would say the coding company's audience is people that are like really new, folks that are not even sure they want to learn how to code, right? And Victoria's is a little bit further along. They're targeting developers that already know how to write code, but might not know the difference between Bootstrap and Tailwind, or that might want to get into the muck with Node Mailer or different authentication methods. So similar theme, slightly different audience. Victoria is amazing. They work at PayPal thanks to their blog. That's wild. I can see it. If I was a hiring manager and I came to Victoria's blog, there are all these things that show me that they are an engineer that's going to put in the work to learn the things they need to learn to be successful on the job. And that's what this blog screams. And so we're going to talk about that in a little bit, like how we can use our blog to help us get better jobs. But this blog screams like, hey, hire me because I will put in the work to do the things that you need me to do. And then there's one other one that came up, and these were all on the Hashnode front page, which is pretty cool. And so this is somebody that's a little bit maybe further along. They're an AWS cloud consultant. So this is somebody that's going more for building their authority in the space, right? They're going for something where they can talk a little bit more intimately about the specifics of AWS. They do have some kind of like early career, right? They do have some early career advice for people learning AWS, but a lot of it's a little bit more stuff that's in the weeds. I'll put all the links in chat, don't worry. Something that's a little bit more in depth. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to come off as a consultant, right? So their theme, right? Their theme is I want to share my AWS knowledge, and their audience is definitely folks that are interested in using AWS's services and probably are a little bit more advanced. And so I like these three because you can see how a theme can be different depending on your audience, and how a completely different theme can be used for something different. And so it's up to you to pick what you want. Do you want your blog to be about sharing and getting feedback as you're learning to code? Do you want to present yourself as an authority so that you can get better clients? Picking that theme and picking that audience is super important. And so I'm going to share these in the chat. Folks are asking, 1 second here. Boom. There's the coding company. Here's Victoria's. And here's Danny's. I notice you're seeing a mix of just using the Hashnode URL or using your own custom domain, which you can do for free on Hashnode, which is so cool. All right, so what we're going to do is I want you to take a few minutes to think about what the theme of your blog is going to be and what your audience is going to be. And so once we come back, I'm just going to put a few minutes on the clock here. And you're not married to it. You can change your mind, but we're going to put 3 minutes on the clock. And in these 3 minutes, I want you to come up with a rough idea of what your theme and your audience is going to be, right? Once you have your theme and audience, put it in chat for me. I want to see that you've put your theme and your audience in chat. And then once we do that, we'll do a raffle. So 3 minutes on the clock. Think through, what do you want your theme to be and what do you want your audience to be? You don't have to be 100% sold on it. Give us the rough idea of what you're going to do. I want to share my journey transitioning from real estate into a software engineer. I love it. Just had a hit list contact reach out 3 months ago with no response. Hit me up, ask for their resume. Let's go. Sharing my journey in web development for those that are also starting off. I love it. Ooh, entry-level devs wanting to deepen their learning. Cover emerging technologies. That's cool. Theme, my developer experience, no degree. Audience, people who were like me. Oh. Want to hold newbies' hands and get them carefully over things that can trip them up. That's dope. Can I start out with one theme audience and later maybe update it? You can. Making that transition can be a little bit difficult if you build up an audience though, but it's worth it. Theme of my blog is how to grow your career through writing, networking, and freelancing. My audience is folks who are new to it all and need guidance through the early steps. Oh, that's him. Web developer newbies and targeting career transitioners like myself. Cool. Dev journey is an older worker getting into coding. Oh, that's a cool one. Simple and neat CSS animations for beginners. That's dope. Flame bait targeting senior devs so I can learn from their arguments in the comments. That would be I think that would be a very, very popular blog. How to build an interactive Minecraft wiki for those into Minecraft and understanding front-end dev. That's cool. A map with EJS without reading the docs. Like explain like I'm 5 the docs. Oh, that's really cool. Self-learning as a new dev with ADHD. That's what I'd sign me up. I want to share my journey learning to code as a mom of 3, transitioning from language services to tech. That's cool. I want to blog about 2 different things. For example, crypto and web dev. I just have 2 different blogs all in the same one. You can have them in the same blog if you want. That's where tagging makes sense, and knowing who your audience is, especially if you build up like a newsletter, you can differentiate what emails go to which audience. It takes a little bit more work if you have 2 audiences, but doable. Stack Overflow the blog. Alrighty, folks. Come on back. Come on back. Our portfolio and blog should be independent. I'm gonna say no. I think your blog and your portfolio should be as closely tied as possible. And here's why. It's gonna be hard to get your portfolio to rank in Google, but if your portfolio is also your blog, it'll be showing up a lot more often and a lot more different places than it would be if it was just on its own, because portfolios don't really get picked up. Like, where do you share them often? Where do you put fresh content that helps it rank better? So having your blog and your portfolio intertwined is great. In fact, I think there's a lot of folks here that don't have a portfolio yet, and having a good blog would probably be just as good as a start to getting their career off the ground. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your theme and your audience. This is huge. To have a good sense of where you're starting is really helpful. So we're going to hold on to that theme and that audience, and we're going to use it as we do some other things later this evening. But as I promised, our first raffle. So we're going to do 2 raffles right now. They're both open to anyone in the world. The first raffle is going to be for a swag package. I will send the swag to you anywhere in the world. Folks have gotten things like Learn with Leon masks, stickers, Pokemon cards, you name it. Lots of swag going in these raffles. I love sending them out. It always takes me a weekend because of all the customs forms, but I love sending them. So we're going to do one of those right now. Let me open up the raffle. It's not open yet. All right. Let's go ahead and open up the first one. All right, giveaway is now open. You can do ! raffle. This is for everyone. This is for US and worldwide. We don't have to do any differentiations tonight. I'm sending them out to everyone. So this is for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're in the US or worldwide, get in on this one. ! raffle. This is for the swag package. I'll give everybody another another 30 seconds or so to get in here. Exclamation point raffle to get in here. It's for a swag package coming your way anywhere in the world. I sent out some ones that went to some far reaches. They were fun. Had one go to Indonesia, one to Taiwan, couple in India. We had a few get held up in customs. All right, I'm closing the raffle. Raffle closed. Let me pick a winner here. Travicar 6. Hey, let's go. This is the Learn with Leon swag coming your way. Please check your DMs here on Twitch. So I'm going to be asking for your information here on Twitch. So make sure you check your messages here on Twitch. That's how I'm going to reach out to you, just so I know that I'm talking to the right person. All right, we're going to do another raffle right now. And the next raffle we're going to do is for a domain name. So it will be for a free domain name, .com or of equal value, right? So in if you want like a .com or of equal value to a .com, we'll get that domain name your way. So let me go ahead and start this giveaway. And exclamation point raffle is now open. We'll put 1 minute on the clock here for this raffle. Cool. Get in here, exclamation point raffle. Shout out to Hashnode for making this possible. Love it. Thank you so much. Made it, lost signal in the desert of Arizona, but got back in time. Hey, MV, glad you're here. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close this raffle. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and pick a winner. NDA, let's go. Congrats. Keep an eye on your messages here on Twitch. It'll go out to you. And you know what? We're gonna run it back. Let's do another domain name. Let's run it back. We're gonna do another domain name giveaway here. Do one more. It's open. Exclamation point raffle. Exclamation point raffle. Get in here. Make this one a little bit shorter though. I'm gonna put 30 seconds on for this one, so get in quick. Gourds, hey, thank you for the 9 months. I don't know if that works for the raffle command, so just make sure you put the raffle command in again, please. I don't know if the sub counts, just to be sure. I think it does, but just be sure. Thank you so much for being here. All right, folks, gonna go ahead and close this one. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick a winner. Cross, hey, congrats, Cross. Keep an eye on your messages here and on Twitch, and I'll be reaching out to you after stream. Congrats, Cross, that's awesome. Alrighty. Lots more raffles where that came from, folks, where we giving away swag and domains all night, plus a laptop. What? MacBook Air, brand new, plus the job guarantee. Where are we at? Let's see where we're at in the job guarantee. We're at like 145, 150-ish. We might hit the 2 job guarantees. We got one already though. Congrats everyone that won so far tonight. All right, let's talk about your first post. So we've identified an audience and a theme for your blog, right? Your first post is often the hardest one. That first post is where all of the anxiety and stress bubbles up. You don't know what to write. You don't know how to do it. Let's talk through it. You want to find something that's simple and matches your theme and audience, right? So keep that theme and audience in mind, and as simple as you can make it, that's what we're talking about. Think about the first blog post you'd want to write. Are you going to talk about your developer journey? Are you going to talk about a technical topic? Are you going to talk about an interview topic? It could be anything, right? It doesn't even have to be technical in nature. But let's go ahead and look at some of these folks that we've shared so far, their first blog posts. Let's go ahead and take a look. So, top 5 reasons why you should learn Python. That's not too difficult, right? I think that's a good first post. It fits their theme of trying to get folks, like trying to target new developers, right? Or trying to help folks that are on their development journey, or folks that are just starting their development journey. I think that's what their theme is, right? Trying to help folks starting development journey. Their audience is obviously new developers. And so this is a really, really simple post that shows why you might want to learn Python. Easy to learn. There are lots of libraries and frameworks. There's machine learning and artificial intelligence that you can use, flexibility, large and supportive community. So nothing too wild, but they've got some great engagement on it, right? They got some folks that are posting. They got some folks that are cheering them on, right? This is a good first post. Doesn't take any kind of technical know-how. It's just throwing the things that you've learned. Maybe your first post would be top 5 reasons to learn JavaScript. Or if you want to be a little inflammatory, top 5 reasons to not learn JavaScript, right? So first blog post, not too wild. Let's look at theirs. They've written a lot, so I'm sure their first blog post all the way down here. All right, I love this. Their first blog post was elite code, right? They're trying to target early career developers. Not we said this earlier. Their theme is not like, their audience is not new to like brand new developers. It's early career developers. So elite code fits into that niche. And so they gave a problem statement for elite code. They gave the example. They gave the explanation in a language that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Some really good step-by-step instructions. And I'll tell you what, if they linked this post inside of the elite code discussion, I guarantee they're going to get some amazing traffic, because they broke down this elite code into something that makes sense, right? And so you don't have to have a wild idea. Just taking something that was difficult for you and breaking it down really does the things we talked about earlier. It reinforces your learning. It gets that active recall, that spaced repetition. It makes it easier for other folks. And this is something that folks would love to see. And so it's an easy win. If you have no idea what to do, break down a problem that you've already done, right? Get that extra learning in, make it so that other folks don't have as a difficult time. I've seen people launch their entire blogs off of writing leak code solutions. People have launched their whole YouTube careers off of just covering leak codes. So no reason why you can't do it if your target audience is maybe something that's a little bit further along. Let's look at Danny's first blog post. All right. So these free VS Code extensions and command line tools will level up your CloudFormation game. So theirs was kind of like, here are the tools that I use, right? What the heck is CloudFormation? They give a nice little breakdown of it. And then they talk about kind of the things that they use that are tools that help them do their job. I could see anyone here kind of doing like a VS Code, right? All right, here's why I like to use VS Code. Here are all of the extensions that make my life easier. Here's what I wish I had started with. Here's what I have now. Very easy first post to bring out, but gets the juices going, right? And so all three of these folks have really good blogs, and their first posts were just things that they were probably comfortable with. Simple, right to the point. You're not really giving like too wild of opinions. Just, hey, here are the tools I use. Hey, here's a challenge I solved, or here's why I think you should learn Python. Boom. I think those are all great first posts. So I want everyone to think through what their first post topic is going to be. Now, we saw some easy ones here, like tools that you use, leak code or code war, or top 5 reasons you should top 5 reasons you should use Python. So I am going to bring up another timer, 3 minutes, and then we're going to do another raffle. When you come up with your first post topic, please post it in chat. I want to see what it is. And if you're having trouble, stop it. If you're having trouble figuring this out, we're going to have a session after class where I can help you come up with your first post. So if you're really struggling on this one, take 3 minutes, really think, right? And we'll come back together. Put your ideas here in chat. Top 5 reasons to join 100 devs. Hey, turn up. Whoa, no, we never had a one-on-one. Nobody ever got that many channel points, I don't think. Or they spent them on something else. Can we steal from others? Of course. GitHub cheat sheet and some keyboard shortcuts that will save you time. That's a great one. An array by any other type. A short history of duck typing. Arrays. That's so beautiful. I love that indifferent. Why you don't need to spend money to learn how to code. Boom. My what the fuck adventure into Bootstrap 5. Let's go. Blockchain stuff. Okay, been working on that. How to undo a Git mistake. That's a beautiful first post. How I got laid off my job and learned to code during the pandemic. Ooh, spicy. I love it. Walking through solving an AQ, like literally step by step. I'm sure that will help so many folks. Q&A with someone in tech I want to do a coffee chat with. That's cool. Resources that don't cost a penny to start your dev journey. Boom. First year at your job. Okay. Document starting your streaming channel. Cool. Oh yeah, and Bemi, yeah, hit me up. You can still join the stream team if you're looking to do that. I saw that post earlier. How you can learn to code while raising your children. That's a beautiful one. How many people will get that? How to overcome anxiety before your tech interview. Boom. An intro to Git for someone who heard about it yesterday. I love it. How I manage frustration and mental health topics. Cool. How I chose learning to code instead of getting a master's degree. Oh, you're gonna get some folks that one for sure. How to improve your search results by using booleans. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like that's gonna help a lot of folks. Star Trek's 50th anniversary. Hey. How to stay consistent in your self-taught journey. That's a beautiful one. Javikar, I will reach out to you here on Twitch. Make sure you check your Twitch messages. Interviewing as an imposter. Whew. Alrighty, folks. Come on back. Come on back. Please make sure you're writing these down. That's the goal tonight. The goal tonight is for us to come up with some good ideas, to get the juices flowing, and then to do it together. So make sure you've written down your audience, make sure you've written down your theme, and make sure you've written down your first post topic, because you put some wonderful ones here in chat. These are great. All right, let's do another raffle, folks. You got the juices flowing. Let's get a raffle going. This first one will be for a swag pack. Let me go ahead and open that up. This is for anyone in the world, including the US. All right, Swag pack raffle is open! Exclamation point raffle. Get in here, folks. 45 seconds. Exclamation point raffle. It's good seeing so many of you folks here tonight. In a while. Exclamation point raffle. You got 8 seconds. Get in here. Alrighty, gonna close it up and pick our winner. C2S. Hey, congrats, C2S. Check your Twitch messages later today. You'll have a message from me. I got to get your info. Congrats. All right, folks, let's go ahead and do a domain name raffle. Domain name raffle. All right, here's the domain name raffle. Go ahead, do exclamation point raffle for me, please, to get in here. Alrighty, 7 seconds. I'm gonna close it up and pick a winner. James Pro Dev. Hey, congrats, James Pro Dev. Congratulations on your new domain name. Go ahead and complete this one. Check your Twitch messages. I'll get to you after stream. Congrats everyone that won. Go ahead and chill the music here. Zabby, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Let's go. All right, I'm feeling good with these ones tonight. We've hit some winners. All right. So you've picked your theme and your audience for your blog. You've thought of the post that you want to make first. So the topic that you're going to cover. Well, what should be the content of your first post? You got a theme, you got an audience, you have a topic, but what about the content? And this is where I think we lose the most folks and they get the most nervous. So I love this GIF. It's from Parks and Rec, and this is how you should approach your first your first blog post. Zabby, hey, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. I have a permit. It just says I can do what I want. And that's true. You can do whatever the heck you want in your first post. It doesn't matter if it's good, if it's bad, if it covers what you want it to cover or not. It's for you. Your first post is to learn. It's to see what your voice and to figure out how you write content. So your first post, don't hold yourself to some other blog post that tells you how to write a blog post. Don't hold yourself to things we're about to talk to tonight. It's you. Your first post is yours. Do whatever the heck you want. Don't worry about optimizing. Don't get caught up in, is it SEO optimized? No. Write the content that you want to write. First post is just to get the juices flowing, to get comfortable with it. You can always focus on that stuff down the line. Cool. So when I'm thinking through the content for a post, I always try to keep in mind who is my audience and what do I want them to know. That's what's going to guide my first post. Who's my audience and what do I want them to know? And then I have what I like to call my 3-sentence rule. Whenever I'm thinking out a post and even like a class, even really, or any bit of content that I'm going to do, I always start with 3 sentences. And before I worry about anything else, I write those 3 sentences. And those 3 sentences really then guide the rest of the post. And I find that if I can get the topic and my first 3 sentences down, the activation energy that takes to get started, that's something I can handle, right? That's something that I can handle. I can sit down, think of an idea, and write the first like 3 sentences about that topic. And what I find is if I trick myself into doing those tasks, then writing the rest of the blog post can come pretty easy. It's not something that I'll stress too much about. But a lot of folks the activation energy to get started is so high, they stress out too much about it. So don't worry about the rest of the posts. Just worry about the topic that you already came up with and your 3 sentences. So what do the 3 sentences look like? Let's say I wanted to write a post about map, like the method map in JavaScript, right? The 3 sentences I would actually write about, like if I was gonna write a post about the map method, my 3 sentences would be, all right, what are arrays including their methods? What does map do and how? And what are some examples of map in action? That covers pretty much what I want the entire post to embody. OCC, hey, thank you for the 11 months. Thank you for being here. That's what my post would be about. It's going to be, all right, what are arrays and their methods? What does map do and how? And what are some examples of it in action? From that, I can build out the rest of my posts, right? Let's say I wanted to write a post on active recall. Like we're maybe writing a post about learning tips or tricks. I would probably start off by saying, all right, what are some learning mistakes? What is active recall and how can I incorporate active recall? So once again, it's not a lot. It's just those 3 sentences that I think would cover what the post would be about. And the beauty is that once I have these 3 sentences, the rest of the post can kind of flow a little bit from those 3 sentences. So we're going to do it live. I want you all to give me a topic and an audience. Beans, hey, thank you for the gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Another hype train. All right, give me a topic. Coding with ADHD, that's good. ADHD coders. Bob's haircut. What is Git? Okay. HTML is a programming language. Give me some other ideas. Give me some good ideas here. Panda Express. Zaku, hey, thank you for the 3 months. Indeed. Twitch streaming, okay. How to make programmer friends. 500K dinner or 500,000 or dinner with Jay-Z. That's a good question. Topic, learning how to blog. Okay, we got some good ones. Actually, that first one was pretty good for me. So, all right, now I'm not going to connect the 2. So give me an audience. Who should my audience be? I'm going to go with the first one, which was coding with ADHD. I think that's a good topic that I want to write about. What's an audience that I could serve with that post or collaborate with that post? My top 5 Anki decks. Why Dominus is king. What would be a good audience for that? Other people have ADHD. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Maybe a little bit more general, like programmers. Yeah, I think the audience is pretty clear. All right, non-tech audience. That could also be a good audience, right? Parents, that's a good one. Other coders that have some sort of neurodivergence. People who don't have ADHD, that's a good one. All right, so let's talk about some other neurodivergent. So I'll say my audience is kind of neurodivergent individuals, and my topic is coding with ADHD. And so what I would probably say is my 3 sentences are off the dome. What it's like to code with ADHD, right? So that kind of, that if folks that do have it can commiserate, like my experience coding with ADHD, right? I have attention issues for folks that don't know. So coding with ADHD would be like the first thing, so that if my audience is folks that have ADHD, they can kind of commiserate. Strategies to code with ADHD, right? That'd probably be my second. So like what it's like, strategies to code with it, and then ways to use your ADHD to be more successful with coding, right? So one, my experience; two, strategies to code while living that experience; and then three would be like ways that it actually helps me as a programmer, right? And so that would be my three. And I would use those 3 sentences as an anchor for the rest of the post. That's enough to get the juices flowing, to get me moving, and to write out the rest of the post. But starting off with a big post is too much. Starting with just those 3 sentences, right? Just starting with those 3 sentences can then help me fill out the rest of what I want the post to be. Cool. Thank you for that. Now, I'm going to ask you all, what are your 3 sentences? So I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock here, a minute for each sentence. Don't overthink it. You already have your audience. You already have your topic. Give me your 3 sentences. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock. This is a very helpful technique. Hey, I'm glad you enjoy it. All right, 3 minutes on the clock, a minute each sentence. Throw your sentences here into the chat. It's going to be wild because there's no connection to it, but I want to see them. All right, 3 minutes. You got this. Go for it. Kate, that's where this comes from. Yeah. Pi, right now we're just coming up with the first 3 sentences that are going to be like the body of our first blog post. Bob's hair is curly. What is curly hair? How to cut curly hair. Hey, there's an audience for that. Thank you for the second or third hype train tonight. That's wild, folks. Appreciate the support. What is blockchain? How basic blockchain works? Why is it safer? That's cool. What skills do great musicians have need? How do they apply those skills in grad school? How do those skills apply to writing code? That's a good one. How lack of structure prevents you from attaining success. Methods to create structure in your life. How I use structure in my journey. I love it. What is prep? How can it be used in an interview setting? What is an example of prep? That's a dope one. Bit different. That's hilarious. I love that one too. How to minimize distractions while coding with ADHD. How can ADHD be beneficial in coding? Why veterans can succeed in coding once off the traditional battlefield. I love it. What is Emmet? How does Emmet work? What are 5 common Emmet commands? Beautiful. Coughs, I appreciate you. Benefits of outsourcing web development for your medium-sized business. How to work with a consultant. How it saves money. That's a dope perspective. I love that. Change my theme and audience. My questions are: what are 5 sites? What are their features? How do they rank? How does sleep affect memory? What is the forgetting curve? How do you memorize and practice? Fire. All right, these are great, folks. How do I identify the root of the anxiety? How do I sit with anxiety in order to acknowledge it? What are some strategies to overcome anxiety before the tech interview? Fire. These are great. All right, let's while folks are kind of still getting their final thoughts down, let's go ahead and do another raffle, folks. Another raffle. Give me a second to open it here. All right, this is a swag raffle. Exclamation point raffle if you want to get in here. Take some of this time to still finish up your 3 sentences if you need to, and get some raffle in here. $30 seconds. Just exclamation point raffle in the chat. The Art of Missy. Hey, thank you for 10 months. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Ooh, Cindy, that's a good one. Alrighty, folks. Let's do one more. Well, we gotta close this one. Sorry, let me close this one. Closing it. Let's pick the winner. Oh, Rossi, hey, with the swag coming your way. That's awesome. Congrats, Rossi, with the dub. I love it. All right, let's do a domain giveaway, and then we'll get a move in here. All right, exclamation point raffle. Get in here for the free domain. Thank you, Hashnode, for sponsoring us this evening so we can do all these raffles. Appreciate you. $15 seconds, folks. 15 seconds. Alrighty, folks. Let's go ahead and close this one up. Go ahead and pick a winner. Crypto. Let's go. Congrats, Crypto. Alrighty, congrats on all the winners tonight. Congrats, Crypto Rossi. Alrighty, so we've done it. We've made some moves tonight. We've picked a theme and an audience. We picked our first post. We've got our first 3 sentences for the post. Now, how do we do the rest? Well, when it comes time to writing your first blog post, channel your inner Guy Fieri. Keep it chill. All right. When you're writing your first blog post, there's something that tells you to in your brain that tells you to kind of talk a little bit more formally, to do things that might not be yourself, but keep your natural language. Keep the way that you would talk. Savvy, hey, thank you for another gifted sub. I appreciate that. Keep it chill. Keep it a natural language that is how you would interact with folks normally, right? Keep that natural voice, and that'll serve you well as you're writing out your first post. Okay, well, talk to your audience, right? As you're writing out your first post, you're filling in the rest of those posts. Make sure you're keeping your audience in mind, right? Keep your audience in mind. Hit them with the gifts if that's the angle you're going for. You basically want to have your content not just be a stack or wall of text, have good code examples, have good things that break up your content, right? Kids headphone. Hey, there you go. Make sure that it's somewhat eye-catching in terms of not just being a wall of text. So keep it chill, use your natural language, your natural voice, talk to your audience, and hit them with the gifts if you want to, like if that's the vibe you're going for. If you're trying to be more of a consultant brand, trying to exert some sort of authority, then maybe you tone down the gifts and have some really good photos instead. And for your first post, it should be vomit. Whenever you're doing your post, the very first time you write it, it should be hot garbage, right? We are going to, as we write out our blog post, right? As we write out our blog post, it should be the hottest, the steamiest garbage that you can procure from the depths of your stomach. Creator, hey, thank you for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Glad to see you. Right? Because the beautiful thing about a blog, right? The beautiful thing about a blog is that once you vomit it out, you got those ideas, the process that makes it great is not the original vomit. It's the cleaning it up. Right? It's the cleaning it up. So you've got your audience. You've got your topic. You got your first 3 sentences. Fill in the vomit underneath those 3 sentences, right? Fill in the vomit underneath those 3 sentences. Vomit out a paragraph on your first sentence. Vomit out a paragraph on your second sentence. Vomit out a paragraph on your third sentence. And then diffuse, right? Diffuse, take some time, walk away from the post, then come back. Then come back and clean it up. And in that process of editing, you're going to change things. You're going to mold it into something that's presentable. Then you're going to diffuse and take some time. You come back, you'll add more images, you'll add more of your voice. But a blog post should be an iterative process. You're trying to get over that activation energy that stops you from writing at all and making it easy for yourself to vomit, knowing that great work comes in the editing phase, right? Beautiful. Another really great step is peer review. On our Discord, there are many folks that would love to read your blog posts before they go live, that can offer tips and suggestions on how to make it better, and probably might be in your target audience, right? That might be your target audience. So you've vomited it out, you've cleaned it up yourself, get some peer review. And after class, I'm helping you all. So we're going to leave stream and we're going to go to Remo. And if you're at a table, I'm going to help you with the things we've talked about tonight. If you're having a hard time with your topic, I'm going to help you. If you're having a hard time coming up with your 3 sentences, I'm going to help you. If you're having a hard time coming up with your vomit, I am going to help you. I will stay on Remo until I have talked to every single one of y'all that want help building your first post tonight. So we're going to learn a few more things tonight together, and then we're going to go to Remo together to get this first post done. And I will help you as much as I possibly can to help you get that activation energy to get your first post done. Raffle time. All right, let's do a swag raffle and a... Ooh, Sam coming in with the facts here. Hashnode lets you share and comment on unpublished drafts. Beautiful. I love that. That means we can all make our unpublished draft tonight and we can share it for peer review. I can help take a peek at it. That's dope. All right, swag raffle. It's open. Exclamation point raffle. Get in here, folks. 20 seconds, folks. Get in here, get in here. Alrighty. Closing it out. Close. Picking a winner for the swag raffle. Snoop with the win. Hey, Snoop, there you go. Check your Twitch messages. You'll get a message from me within these next 24 hours. And let's go ahead and do a domain giveaway. It has started. Go ahead and do exclamation point raffle to get in with her for the free domain giveaway. Whoa, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Spending all Jeff Bezos's money with the Prime. I appreciate you. Twenty seconds more. Get in, get in, get in. Just spending his Amazon money on rocket ships. That's how you know you're rich, when there's nothing else left to do but go to space. All right, let's go ahead and close the entries. Let's pick a winner. Dior, hey, congrats on your free domain, Dior. We're going to check your Twitch messages in the next 24 hours. You'll get a message from me. We'll get that coming your way. Congrats. All right. Get back to it. All right, so you've done the hard work. You've picked your audience. You've picked your first post topic. You've picked your 3 sentences. You've done your vomit. You've gotten it cleaned up, and you've posted your post. How do people actually find your posts, right? You put in all this work. How do people find your posts? Well, I'll tell you how people find your posts after our break. So we have a 5-minute break. Remember, if you're new here, we like to be healthy. We like to make sure that we're in this for a marathon, not a sprint. When we come back from the break, we'll talk about how people can find your post, how you can get those consultants, how you can get those clients looking at your stuff, and we'll have a few more raffles. Don't forget, tonight we're giving away some good stuff. We're giving away a new MacBook Air. Whew, crispy. And we're giving away a job guaranteed. So let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break. And we'll finish up and we'll get over to Remo so we can work together on building these together. Cool, 5 minutes on the clock here. Please be healthy. Please take a break. If you're able, get up, walk around, let your eyes relax on something that's farther away, and I'll see you in 5. I'm gonna grab myself some more water. Bob will be in charge. Bob was selling subs to their OnlyFans while you were gone. My brother just told me that Bob needs face tats. So if you have a good idea for Bob's face tattoo, let me know. Bob's looking smooth tonight. All right, folks, minute 40. Take a break if you haven't. A boat and a log. A tattoo of Bill Gates' toaster. Oh, that's fire. Bar for life. 21. Raffle prize for pick out Bob's tattoo. Oh, that's such a good idea. Yes. For our next sponsor stream, we'll do a raffle for Bob's face tat. Alrighty, folks. 28 seconds left. We were debugging something and we're stuck at 21 errors for literally 2 hours. Ooh. All I can think of was 21. Binary teardrops. I love it. All right, folks, come on back. Hope you had a good break. Can we just talk for a second how Carmen Sandiego was TV 14? Why was Carmen Sandiego TV 14? That's wild. Anyway, all right, so how do folks find your post? Well, SEO takes about 6 months. So that means that for Google to like start indexing your stuff and for it to show up in all of the search results, there's actually like a 3 to 6 month window before it really starts showing up everywhere. And so if you're worried, if you're trying to play the SEO game, the search engine optimization game, when you first start writing your blog posts, they won't show up right away. It's kind of weird. Like some will, some won't. It takes sometimes, especially if it's a newer domain, for things to index. It just takes a while. So if you're trying to have folks find your post and you're relying on like good SEO or good, like on all the other things we'll talk about in a few seconds, it still takes months for it to start being found, which sucks because you put all that hard work into a post and maybe it's something that's not evergreen, which we'll talk about in a second. And so it takes 6 months for that to show up. But if you're using Hashnode, there is a Hashnode feed, which means as soon as you push your post on Hashnode, it shows up on a feed of all the other posts, right? It's a feed of all the other posts, and it has the chance to be featured. So you're talking about nobody seeing your content for 6 months versus somebody seeing your content right away. And so that's one of the other really cool things built into Hashnode, is that it is a community of other folks making blogs that are probably within your audience. And so when it hits that feed, you definitely get a boost in folks seeing it. Sam had a post, I think it was a while back on your Twitter, where you talked about the engagement you got on Hashnode versus other places. And so hitting that featured on Hashnode, or even hitting just a normal feed, you're going to get a bump in folks seeing your stuff right away. Right away. Whereas if you're just relying on like good SEO, it's going to take months. Now, if you want folks to find your content, you got to figure out what your audience wants. And so if you're targeting a specific audience, asking is a good thing to do. Once you have your first few users that sign up for your newsletter or the first few people that comment on your posts, ask them why they're there and what do they want more of, because they already found you. Increasing that type of content can help you make it so that more folks find your content. You can also look at others that are in your same niche or that are targeting your same audience. And you can also do what we call keyword research to find what people actually want to see more of. Now, keyword research is its own art and its own way of doing things. And you could read hundreds of blog posts about how to find the right things to blog about. But I'm going to show you something that's very, very easy and is how I would do keyword research in the beginning. Like if I'm trying to find, I'm fresh out of topics, I don't know anything else to write, and I just want to see what other folks are looking for related to the content that I've already written about. Let me show you a quick way to get some keyword research done. So we talked about JavaScript maps. So we were talking about the JavaScript map method. And if we go ahead and we scroll to the bottom, what you're going to see, let me make this bigger if I can, are these related searches, right? These are other things that folks are looking for that's similar to the content that you just wrote about. So if you had a topic that was about JavaScript maps, you could see that, oh, people are looking for each. People are looking at how to do map with TypeScript. People are looking for examples of maps. So if I was going to write a post about maps, I would make sure I hit these kind of keywords. I would definitely have examples. I might talk a little bit about how you do it in TypeScript, and I might say how for each relates to map. So you don't need to invest in expensive tools. You don't need to pay for some sort of service. Google kind of already gives you the related material. So if you're kind of looking about what to include in your post or what should be the next follow on, this very basic keyword research can help you figure out the next topic that your audience wants to see. And so it works really well. Google's showing it for a reason. Twitter can be a really great place for folks to find your content. Some of the best advice that I've seen online has been to, if you're writing about a technical topic, I can't remember who's, I think it was Ali Patel. I think they talked about this. If you're writing about a specific topic that's like a technical topic, tag that language and at that group, right? So if you're writing something about Hashnode, write at Hashnode, like tag them, right? Tag that language in your Twitter post so that the folks see that you're writing about them and they're more likely to respond, right? And then once people are engaging with your posts, right? Once people are engaging with your posts, make sure you're following up and engaging with them, answering their questions, following on, right? And so it's important that if you're going to use Twitter as a vertical, that you kind of figure out this tag and engage game. It'll really help people. Like that first initial boost you get from Twitter can be pretty big if you've tagged the right language or the right company. And I'm not talking about hashtags, but like actually adding the people behind those technologies so that they see your posts. Aggregators can be really hit or miss, but when they hit, they hit. And so posting your stuff to Hacker News or Reddit or any of your content specific aggregators can be a huge boost. I've had some posts that have gotten 30, 40,000 hits in one day just from being on the front page of Hacker News or Reddit. It can be a life-changing experience if you hit that front page. We were talking about Alex. The reason Alex got all those people working on his project wanting to support them was because their post hit the front page of Hacker News. And it was their very first blog posts, right? Some tips about Hacker News is there's some rules that you have to follow. And so make sure that you're following the rules of those communities. Lurk for a little bit on Hacker News, lurk for a little bit on the subreddits that you want to post in, because they can be a huge win, but they're also very cynical. So if you're not following the rules, using the aggregators can backfire and people are going to drag you in the comments. And so make sure you lurk for a bit, make sure you understand the posting guidelines, make sure you understand how to do it, make sure you're coming across natural, right? Don't worry about posting time. Don't worry about like all these like things that people try to mimic. If you're writing good content, people will find it. and you have a chance to be picked up by these aggregators. You will fuck this up at some point. You'll post the wrong way at the wrong time, or something weird will happen. Know that you're rolling some dice when you post on the aggregators, but when it hits, it hits. Yeah, folks are saying that they found about 100 devs from Reddit. That's true. That Reddit post went super viral. That was it was literally like thousands of signups and tens of thousands of views from one post. So get used to the aggregators, lurk for a little while, learn how it works, because it can be a quick win that costs no money, that can get a lot of eyeballs on your posts. Don't sleep on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like one of the top converting channels for folks to look at your blog posts right now. And so make sure you're posting to LinkedIn as well. People forget that you can post on LinkedIn. And so, yeah. Guest posting is a fun way to get new eyeballs on your old content. Guest posting is just where you post something on somebody else's blog. As you're posting in a certain niche and you're tagging appropriately on Twitter, folks are going to find your content. They're going to engage on your content. And once people are engaging with your content, doing guest post or having post on your blog is a good way to kind of spread your reach a little bit. I don't like guest posting for SEO bumps. I think that's played out, but guest posting to get new audience members to see your content is a huge win. And build a newsletter, ! Newsletter if you want to join my newsletter. But building a newsletter is the best thing you can do for your blog content. As your new blog post comes out, you send that to your newsletter. Your conversion rates on newsletters, if you're doing it right, can be astronomical. I'm seeing above 30% on each of my newsletters with thousands of people on that newsletter. It can be a huge boost to any post that you have. All right, so build out that newsletter. It is the best converting channel that's consistently converting for me that I've ever seen. Right now, all of this is kind of the simple stuff, the free stuff. You can do a lot of other technical things. There are people that spend their whole careers on optimizing posts and optimizing the layout and all that stuff just to get a few more clicks on Google. When you're first starting out, it doesn't matter. Google's not going to index you for a while anyway. Use those first few months to figure out the content that your audience likes, the content that you like to write. And once you have folks getting onto your content and finding you, then you can worry about all the other stuff that comes into play. And the beautiful thing though, is that if you're on Hashnode, most of the stuff you would set up is already set up for you anyway. They have amazing on-site SEO. They have amazing speed, which Google cares a lot about these days. And so all the things that you might have to tweak and tinker with is kind of already done for you if you're using Hashnode. So raffle time. Let's go ahead and get another merch raffle in and another domain raffle in. Or sorry, swag, I should say. All right, it's open. ! Raffle. Get on in here. I'm gonna leave this one open for another 20 seconds or so. Gonna close this one a little bit quicker. I want to have at least a half an hour on the end for us to vomit our first post together. All right, I'm gonna close this one out. Pick a winner. A double. Wait, hold on. Which one did you win already? Let's see. Hold on. Let me complete. Congrats on the double win. What did you win here before? So make sure that you're doubling up. Actually taking a while to load. If you won 2 swags, we'll make it a mega swag, or you can choose the domain name if you want. Oh no, you won the domain name. Cool. So you got swag and a domain name. That's wild. Congrats. All right, let's do another giveaway, folks. Let's do a domain name. All right, ! Raffle, get in on this one. Keeping it open for like 20 seconds or so. Get in, exclamation point, raffle. Alrighty, closing it up. Picking a winner. Gourds, hey, congrats on the win. Domain coming your way. Congratulations. And Danae with the double win. I love to see it. Alrighty. I'm gonna get to our last few topics here, and then I want to make sure we have some time to work on our first post together. All right. So we talked about my two mortal enemies, Leon Noel and Noel Leon, and how did I beat them and show up first on Google? And the reason why you want to show up first on Google is because you will get more client work. When clients look you up and everything they see on Google is just you, that makes them trust you more. Even if you could be the shadiest person in the world, but if you're all the results on Google, clients are going to trust you more. I have literally had clients tell me to my face the reason they went with me is because they could find all my stuff online, right? Recruiters can find you more easily. When recruiters are trying to do their digging, they're going to see your content and they're going to click through and find all the things they need to find about you. It will help you when it comes time to finding a job. And then also there's a little bit of vanity of showing up first in Google. Cross. All right. When you're worried about Google results, there's two different types of results you got to worry about. There's local and global. So a lot of times people will Google themselves and they'll be like, look, I'm already number one. But that's probably your local results and not the global results. So often you want to be in an incognito window, ideally on a VPN that's not like in your location. So you can really see like what the global results are and not the local results for your name. So that's kind of like a forewarning. If you're like concerned about this, or you're just trying to rank up, know that there are local and global results. And when you're writing your blog posts, there's two different kinds of content that you're going to hear people talk about: evergreen content and fresh content. Evergreen content is the content that you write that will be the same forever. It's never really going to change. And when it comes to technical topics, that's kind of hard. If you're writing about JavaScript, that's going to change next week. And so that's not really a good evergreen topic. When you're first starting out your blog posts, it's an ideal world. You're going to have some evergreen content that doesn't really update or need to be updated. So we've talked about some of these before, kind of like some of the posts we mentioned, coding with ADHD. That's pretty evergreen. Like the big things you're going to talk about might not change. Maybe the tools will change a little bit, but you want to have a good mix of evergreen content so that as your blog starts to rank in the search engines, there's things that Google can continually serve up to users that are just good. They're just going to be there forever. When you're first starting out your blog though, fresh content is the easiest to get an audience. So if you are the first person to write about a new library or the first person to talk about a new tool, that means all the mechanics that get people to your blog will work in your favor. You might pop off on an aggregator, you might pop off on Twitter or LinkedIn. So you want to have a good mix of evergreen content for Google and fresh content to build up that audience. And so fresh content is also really good too, because you're competing against less folks. So keep a balance when you're thinking about kind of the type of content you're going to write. You want to have a good mix of evergreen content and fresh content so that you can build an audience and satisfy Google. Write about NFTs go viral. Exactly. Another thing that you worry about when you're trying to show up first on Google is on-page SEO. Like, are your headings good? Are your pieces of your content written out well? And how fast does everything load? When you're using Hashnode, you don't really have to worry too much about this. You'll get better at time at writing better headlines or titles and things like that do result in real views. But the really technical stuff, the beauty of Hashnode is you don't really have to think about too much of it. The last thing too is to figure out what Google cares about. So for your individual name, Google might care about a lot of different stuff, right? And so if we look at my name, you can see that Twitter comes up very quickly for me. And often my tweets will show up in the search engine results. For some reason with my name, since I'm competing against like a social media influencer, they really cares about my tweets. My tweets often will show up in individual blocks on my name. And I'm always battling when it comes to video. There's a DJ who's not on my mortal enemies list, but is getting close. And their videos outcompete me because it's just music and people will put it on the background. So their playtime is really high. So my videos are really just trying to like compete with that other person. So looking at what type of content, right? Looking at what type of content Google likes can help you figure out what type of content you should be serving up. If you see Twitter results showing up for your name, right? If you see Twitter results showing up for your name, you best start tweeting a little bit and linking back to your blog. If you see videos coming up a lot, you best be making video content and linking back to your blog. Or better yet, have a video inside of your blog post that's hosted on YouTube that links back to your blog. So figuring out what Google cares about related to the words or keywords that you're searching for or trying to rank for, mainly your name, can really help you stand out, because once Google sees that there's video content, tweets, and things linking back to the domain that you're using, your blog, the more likely your blog content is to surface on that front page. Lastly, well, something really important is to link all your things. You want to make sure that your Twitter has a link to your blog. You want to make sure your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, anything that has that name that should be the same, hopefully, or close to your domain name, make sure they're all pointing back to your blog. There's this idea of something called backlinks. Some people spend a lot of time and energy trying to get backlinks to their domains, because the more kind of people pointing to your domain, the more authority Google gives it, and the more likely it is to show it in the search engine results. But if you don't have a domain that people are really competing against, specifically like if your name's not a very common name, you don't really need too much. Just the basics, some videos, some tweets, all your social accounts, that'll be enough to get the wheel churning for Google to realize like, oh, you're the person I should be serving in the search results. Sam said Hashnode has built-in schema markup, so Google will pick up your blog up for content directly on the search page. I love it. Like we were talking about, Hashnode has all these things kind of already handled for you. So all the things that people stress over when they're putting out a blog post that's not content, Hashnode already has for you. That's why I recommend it so highly. Cool. So if you do kind of those very basic things, you figure out kind of what Google wants and you link all your things together, you're going to rank. And I want to talk about one more thing before we pop off here. How do we skip rounds when interviewing? This is a trick that has literally gotten people jobs and has salvaged interviews that have gone poorly. Make sure your blog's on your resume, right? Make sure your blog's on your resume. And before you go into an interview, get the details on that interview. We always talk about never go into an interview like an accident. Know what you're going to be talking about. Know what things you're going to be you're going to be challenged on. Get all those details and write a post about it. If you know you're going to be tested on React hooks, make a blog post about React hooks. If you know you're going to be tested on some language you never you have to write TypeScript, write an introduction to TypeScript blog post. Not only will you learn all the little tips and tricks, like the tips and tricks that you need to stand out in the interview, but then during your interview, you can say, oh, I actually have a post on this topic, right? Or if the interview didn't go well, right? The interview didn't go well, make a post about the topic that didn't go well and send it back to your interviewer. hey, I really tripped up on that reduce problem. Here is my blog post on how to use reduce effectively, how to solve problems. And you'll notice that the problem we had, I kind of used that as an example for reduce. So I know that I just wanted to send this your way because it's something that I'm practicing and getting better at. And then you send that link to them. Remember, when you're trying to get the job, they care about two things. Can you code? I want to work with you for the next 2 years. Showing that you're willing to put into the work to fill in those gaps can be a way that you can salvage an interview that you care about, right? And so making a detailed post has two folds. Maybe you salvage the interview, and if not, you filled in your gaps in your knowledge that will serve you for all the rest of your interviews. And so I have seen this tactic turn around an interview that was lost and help someone ultimately get the job. And so I wanted to throw that out there because I think it could be a good tool for you to either salvage some interviews or to just fill in the gaps in your knowledge. And so I wanted to make sure I put that out there. All right, let's do our last raffle here. So we're gonna do a swag, and we're gonna do a domain. So swag is open, exclamation point raffle. Get in here, get in here. All right, I'm gonna close this one out. For the swag, the winner goes to Crumb Hustler. Hey, Crumb. We got some swag coming your way. You'll get a message from me here on Twitch within 24 hours. Nice. And let's go ahead. Congrats, Crumb. Let's go ahead and do a domain as well. All right, get in here. Exclamation point raffle for the free domain. Alrighty. Get in here, get in here. I'm gonna close this one out. I'll pick a winner. Vincent, hey, congrats on your free domain. You'll get a message from me on here on Twitch within 24 hours. Congratulations. All right. Now, we got just under 20 minutes. Well, we got just over 20 minutes, I should say. In 20 minutes, I want you to vomit your first blog post. Absolute disgusting vomit. You already have your topic. You already have your 3 sentences, and you're going to fill in those 3 sentences with disgusting vomit after. Oh, we do have the super secret newsletter swag raffle. Sorry about that. So before we get to our first blog post together, let's do the super secret newsletter swag raffle. We also got to talk about the laptop and the job guarantee raffle as well. So let's go ahead and let's write our first blog post. Oh, sorry. Let's do the super secret swag raffle. All right. Free domain. Yeah. All right. So we're going to do a swag raffle here. Only enter this raffle if you filled out the super secret newsletter form. If you win this raffle and you did not fill out the form, it's a permaban on everything that I have. I'm blocking you everywhere. I'm going to do it gleefully. So don't, it hasn't started yet. Don't worry. I haven't opened it yet. Do not enter this raffle unless you filled out the super secret form in the newsletter. All right. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Only enter if you filled out that form. And it's now open. Give everybody 20 seconds to get in here. Get in, get in. I'm gonna close it up. I'm gonna pick a winner. Salads fork. All right, let's make sure that they filled out the form. Check in. All right, they filled out the form. They're good. They're good. Congrats. Salad Spork. You got a swag package coming your way. Alrighty. Complete that one. Alrighty. So we got 19 minutes left. And if you have more time, great. You'll stay with us a little bit later. But I want you all to take the first steps on writing the vomit for your first post. So we're going to take 19 minutes. We're going to jump over to the classroom, !classroom, to work together. I'm going to come around, help you ideate if you need help ideating, help you get things going for your first blog posts. What I want you to do is in your Hashnode account, write your draft. So you're going to create a draft on your Hashnode account, right? You're going to create a draft on your Hashnode account where you're starting your first blog post. Okay. That's the goal. You're going to start your first draft, first blog post. We're going to take the next 18 minutes or so to vomit as much as we can into that draft. And then we will do our raffle for folks that have started the post. So if you want to be part of the laptop raffle and the job guarantee raffle, you got to get some vomit for me in the next 18 minutes. Okay. So the raffle will still be here on the Twitch channel. I'm just going to not be live. It'll still run here on the channel, but to enter the raffle, you have to show me your vomit. So you can either add me to your draft on Hashnode, or you can send me a link on your, like, send me a link to like to the draft or to your Google Doc, right? You got to give me some sort of proof that you've started your vomit draft, and then you'll see the raffle happen here on the Twitch channel. But we're going to go over to Remo just to in solidarity start writing our first post. If you for some reason can't access Remo, that's okay. Type it out on your phone. I'm going to put the link to the Google form where you can share your link or your draft with me. You'll see that pop up here in the 17 minutes or so, right? And we'll do the raffle for the laptop, and we'll do the raffle for the job guarantee. But to enter, you have to start your vomit. So I'm going to cut off. I'm going to jump over to the classroom. You can do !classroom here in chat if you need it. I'll see you on Remo. All right. I'll see you on Remo. If you're on the road, type it out on your phone. Give me vomit any way, shape, or form you can write it. I'll take it. All right. Thank you so much, Hashnode, for sponsoring this class. This has been amazing. Thank you for everyone that showed up. For all the winners, congrats. You'll hear from me very soon. Let's get over to Remo. Let's vomit our first post. Let's get it going. And then we'll see the winner be posted here on the stream as well. All right, folks. Good luck. And I'll see you over on Remo.